Your phone lights up, 3 words, no context. Your chest pulls tight before your brain catches up. Your thumbs are already typing a defense you didn't choose to write. Stop. That wasn't an attack. It was a string, and you just proved they can pull it. Here's what nobody tells you. Every time you defend yourself, you're handing someone else the remote control to your nervous system. They don't respect you less because you're flawed. They respect you less because you responded. Machiavelli spent his life studying power, not how to be liked, how to be untouchable. He discovered something dark. The people who command respect never explain themselves to people who didn't ask with respect. They don't defend. They don't debate. They disconnect the strings. By the end of this video, you'll understand why approval seekers get ignored and boundary enforcers get obeyed. Why some people's time is sacred and yours gets wasted. Why you've been fighting the wrong battle. Drop this in the comments. Where do your strings get pulled? Work, dating, family, group chats. Principle 1. Reactivity is the transaction, the rule of the battlefield. When you explain yourself to someone who disrespected you, you're negotiating with a kidnapper. Most people think defense is strength. It's not. Defense is an admission that their opinion is the court that matters. The fortress metaphor. Imagine a fortress, strong walls, locked gates. Now imagine every time someone yells an insult from outside, the guards open the gates and invite them in for a discussion about why the insult was inaccurate. That's what you do when you defend yourself. You're not protecting the fortress. You're giving them access, Machiavelli warned. The first method for estimating the intelligence of a ruler is to look at the men he has around him. Translation: people judge you by what you tolerate. When you defend yourself against low-status attacks, you're signaling that those attacks have jurisdiction over your self-image. You've just made their opinion a vote that counts. Corporate meeting. Someone interrupts you mid-sentence for the 3rd time. What most people do, actually, I wasn't finished. Defensive, tone rising, seeking fairness. What happens? The room now sees you as someone who needs permission to speak. Your authority just dropped. The counter move. Stop talking. Don't restart. Let the silence hang for 3 seconds. Then, you have the floor. Cold, flat, no emotion. What this does, you've just made interrupting you cost social capital. They look rude. You look controlled. The room notices. The escalation ladder. Soft, silence plus, exit the frame, stop engaging, firm, name the pattern once. This is the 3rd time. That's a choice. Exit, remove access. No explanation. Ghost the meeting series, the text thread, the friendship. Principle 2, approval, is an installment plan on your future authority. You, hey, want to grab coffee this week. Them, red 9:47 p.m. You, 3 hours later. Or, we could do drinks if that's easier. Them, maybe. You, just let me know what works. What most people do. Keep offering options. Keep making it convenient. Keep proving they're flexible. Why it fails? You've just communicated that your time has infinite supply and 0 demand. Machiavelli observed, men are so simple and so subject to present necessities that he who seeks to deceive will always find someone who will allow himself to be deceived. Here's the deception. The approval economy runs on installment payments. Every time you chase someone, double texting, over-explaining, offering more options, you're making a payment on a loan. The loan? Your future respect. The interest rate? Compounding disrespect. You help a coworker 3 times. The fourth time, they ask via Slack at 11 p.m. You respond immediately. Now you've trained them. Your boundaries are negotiable, your time is free, and urgency is whatever they decide it is. The fourth request gets a 24-hour delay. No apology. No explanation. Just, I can take a look Thursday. What this does resets the terms. Your time now has scarcity. Scarcity creates value. Value creates respect. When someone asks for your time, I'll check my schedule and let you know. Not, I'm so busy but. Not, I wish I could but. Just, neutral, unhurried, undefended. If you're starting to see how you've been giving your power away in small trades you didn't know you were making, subscribe. This channel is for people who are done being managed by other people's expectations. Principle 3, your emotional transparency, is a targeting system. The illusion, honesty builds trust. Vulnerability creates connection. Showing your emotions proves you're authentic. The reality, emotional transparency without strategic filtering makes you predictable. Predictable makes you controllable. Carl Jung identified the shadow, the parts of yourself you hide because society punished them. But here's where Jung and Machiavelli intersect. The shadow isn't just repressed darkness, it's strategic concealment. Machiavelli knew. Everyone sees what you appear to be, few experience what you really are. When you broadcast every emotional reaction, you're handing people a map to your pressure points. They learn what makes you angry, easy to provoke, what makes you guilty, easy to manipulate, what makes you seek approval, easy to control. Your manager criticizes your project in front of the team. Reactive response, face flushes, voice gets defensive. Well, actually, if you look at the data, emotional, explaining, needing vindication, what they learned, criticism in public settings makes you scramble. Now they know how to make you compliant, threaten your reputation in a group setting. Strategic response, neutral expression, slight nod, noted, I'll review it. Then nothing, no follow-up email, no defense document, just silence. What this does, they don't know if you're unbothered, planning something, or completely indifferent to their opinion. Uncertainty is uncomfortable. They're now the one who feels exposed. Keep 3 versions of your emotional state. What you feel, private, for you alone. What you show close allies, filtered, strategic. What you show everyone else, minimal, controlled, reveals nothing exploitable. Most people operate with one version, full transparency with everyone. That's how you end up as someone's emotional puppet. Principle 4, NEIS is a resource extraction strategy. If you've ever said, I don't want to be difficult before stating a basic preference, you're being harvested. Machiavelli warned about the danger of being loved if you cannot inspire fear, meaning consequence. Here's the modern translation. People are safe to exploit. When someone knows you'll prioritize their comfort over your own needs, you've become a resource they can extract value from without reciprocity. Think about it economically. Transaction 1, they ask a favor. You say yes to be nice. Cost to them, 0. Transaction 2, they cancel on you. You smile to be nice. Toss to them, 0. Transaction 3, they take credit for your work. You stay quiet to avoid conflict. Toss to them, 0. You're not being kind. You're being free. Friend group chat. Someone suggests plans for Saturday. You have work to do, but you say, I'm flexible. Plans get made. You show up. 3 of them cancel last minute. You still show up. What just happened? You've communicated that your time is the group's buffer. Your presence is the default. Your schedule bends to absorb everyone else's chaos. Deployable action plus escalation. Soft boundary, I can do Saturday, but I'll need to confirm by Wednesday. Creates a deadline that protects your time. Firm boundary, if they cancel within 24 hours twice, I'm out for last-minute plans going forward. Exit, third cancellation. You stop accepting invitations from this group. No explanation. No passive aggression. You just become unavailable. Mini-script. When someone asks you to be flexible, code for, absorb the inconvenience, I can do specific commitment, or I can pass, which works better for you. This forces them to make the choice, not you. It also communicates your flexibility is not infinite. If this is rewiring how you see power, if you're recognizing patterns you've been stuck in for years, hit like. It tells me you're ready for the advanced material. Principle 5, silence, is the weapon they can't counter. The person who speaks first after tension loses. Most people fear silence. They fill it with explanations, jokes, apologies, anything to relieve the discomfort. But that discomfort, it's leverage, and you just gave it away. Machiavelli understood. Never attempt to win by force what can be won by deception. Silence is deception's twin, strategic absence. When someone attacks you and you say nothing, their attack hangs in the air with nowhere to land. They're shadowboxing. They look unhinged. You look unbothered. Group text. Someone sends a passive, aggressive message aimed at you. Interesting how some people commit to things and then just disappear. But I guess that's just how some people are. Reactive response. Are you talking about me? Because if you are, just say it. I had a legitimate reason. Defensive. Explaining. Giving them exactly what they wanted. Your emotional reaction. Strategic response? Nothing. Not even a read receipt if you can help it. Let that message sit there. Let everyone see it. Let them marinate in their own passive aggression. What happens? Within an hour, they either send a follow-up that's even more transparent. Now they look obsessed. Bog track. Not talking about anyone's specific lol. They blinked first. See, nothing. The attack failed and everyone saw. All three outcomes favor you. Silence works because it forces the other person to escalate, which makes them look unhinged, retreat, which makes them look weak, sit in their discomfort, which trains them not to do it again. But here's the key. Your silence must be cold, not hurt. Hurt silence says, you wounded me and I'm withdrawing. Cold silence says, you're not worth the energy of a response. One makes you a victim, the other makes you a force. Silence, escalation ladder. Level 1, say nothing. No response, no acknowledgement. Level 2, respond to everyone else in the thread, skip them entirely. Level 3, when they finally address you directly, respond with something completely unrelated. Anyone catch the game last night? What this communicates, their attack didn't even register as worth addressing. The part no one tells you. Here's what happens when you start implementing this. People get angry, not everyone, just the ones who benefited from you being controllable. They'll call you cold, selfish, changed. Let them. Because what they're really saying is, you're not letting me use you anymore, and I don't like it. That's not a you problem, that's a them problem. Machiavelli once said, men ought either to be well treated or crushed, because they can avenge themselves of lighter injuries, of more serious ones they cannot. If you're going to set boundaries, set them completely. Don't apologize for them. Don't explain them. Don't negotiate them. Just enforce them. The 5-step rewiring system. 1. Morning ritual, the power check. Before you check your phone, ask yourself, Whose approval am I about to seek today? Write down the name. Then write, I don't need it. Say it out loud once. This isn't affirmation nonsense. This is pre-commitment. You're deciding before the day tests you. When someone tries to pull your strings, that's it. Not interesting, but not interesting because just interesting. Then let the silence do the work. 3. The 7-day social experiment. For 1 week, cut your verbal output by 30%. No explanations unless directly asked. No apologies for preferences. No filling awkward silences. Watch what happens. People will either 1. Respect you more, keep them. 2. Get frustrated, they can't read you, this is working. 3. Complain you've changed, they miss controlling you. 4. Alliance, audit. Pull out your phone right now. Open your messages. Find the last 10 conversations. For each one ask, in this dynamic, am I the one who texts first? Explains more. Apologizes more, adjusts my schedule more. If you answered yes to 3 or more, that's not a relationship. That's a pattern of resource extraction. Action. For the next 2 weeks, match their energy exactly. Mirror their response time. Mirror their effort level. See what remains. 5. Evening review. The boundary journal. Every night, write down 1 moment you defended yourself. You gave power away. 1 moment you stayed silent, you kept power. 1 person who treated you better this week. Your boundaries are working. Do this for 30 days. You'll see the pattern. The less you explain, the more respect you command. The transformation. Here's what most people miss about Machiavelli. He wasn't teaching cruelty. He was teaching clarity. Clarity about how power actually works. Clarity about what respect actually costs. Clarity about who you become when you stop performing for approval. The world has enough people-pleasers, enough explainers, enough approval seekers who wonder why they're never chosen first. What the world lacks, what you can become, is someone who doesn't need to be liked because they've built something more valuable, respect. Not given, commanded, not requested, assumed. Machiavelli's final lesson: it is better to be feared than loved if you cannot be both. But here's what he really meant. It's better to have boundaries that create consequence than to have niceness that creates contempt. Because love without respect is exploitation with a smile. And you've been exploited long enough. If this video showed you the strings you've been ignoring, subscribe. And drop this final line in the comments: I am unmovable. Not as an affirmation, as a declaration. Because you don't need to be liked. You need to be impossible to move. And that changes everything.